Hello everybody, and welcome back to Medithrive's weekly update. Today Liz and I want to introduce to you Medithrive's #1 chef, Captain Matt!
Hi, I'm Matt from Medithrive, and when I'm not in the shop I'm actually cooking up some things at home or on my other job as a private chef. So I want to show you guys how to make some cannabis coconut butter today using a little bit of coconut oil you can find at your local health food store. So what we have here, this has actually just been put into some boiling water just to melt down the oil so that it's in a liquid state. I also have some slices of fresh, young, organic ginger. We're going to steep this into the oil to give it a little bit of a fragrance and a little bit of a flavor. And ultimately, we're also going to add, I guess this is a little leftover vapor, what we call vapor poo, just leftover vaporized cannabis we use here in the shop. And eventually what we're going to make is we're going to be making a cannabis butter which can be used for cooking or as a topical. So we have a stainless steel pan here. Here's our open jar of melted coconut oil, and we're just going to deposit it right in there. And we're going to reserve the jar so that way later we can strain out the cannabis right back into the jar for later use. And I'm going to turn the heat on to about medium low because we don't want to get it too hot, but we want to get it hot enough so that way the cannabis gets up to the proper temperature in order for it to activate and infuse. So I guess go ahead and you just want to dump the cannabis in here just like that. And there's really no recipe for a specific ratio, and you probably have to figure that out yourself for, you know, what's the right dosage for you. But you can make this as strong or as weak as you want. Some people might want to make it a little bit weaker if they're going to use it as a topical, and obviously a little bit stronger if you're planning to use it in edibles. Okay, so we've let our cannabis coconut oil steep with some ginger now for about a half an hour, and it's cooled down significantly. Now I have a handheld mesh strainer, also known as a fine mesh sieve or chinois, depending on what you've learned. And we're just gonna pour it back into the original jar, and in the process straining out all of the vaporized cannabis and also some of the ginger. And you just want to go nice and slow. You don't want to make too much of a mess because this can get really messy and greasy really fast. You might want to take the spoon and kind of push the back of it a little bit. Try not to push too hard because you don't want to push too many impurities or little actual pieces of debris into the oil. And what you should be left with is an infusion of coconut butter with cannabis and ginger. So what can you do with this? Well, once it cools down, you can put this in the refrigerator and it will solidify just like when we started. And you can use it as a topical for like a massage, or maybe just as like a little bit of a moisturizer. But you can also use this in baking, substituting exact ratio for any recipe that calls for regular butter. You can substitute the cannabis coconut oil. And this is a really good oil for baking, and it's going to be on the strong side, or at least however strong you made it. So do keep that in mind. Otherwise, enjoy and feel free to experiment.